I'm American made. I got American parts. I got American.
This is Stephen K. Bannon, the Victory Sessions, KABC, 790 AM, Talk Radio, Los Angeles, California. We're going to try to dial it down a couple. I've been a little jacked up today. I think it's because there's so much going on. It's the battle for America, right? And we're seeing this doesn't even involve President Obama. This is just the Republican primary. But I got to tell you, Governor Palin. And look, I'll be brutally frank. I'm a Palinista. I'm a big supporter of Governor Palin. I wanted her to run. I made a film about her. I made the film about her. And I will match that up against anything HBO shows. In fact, I will do a PolitiFact verification of The Undefeated versus the thing that's going to come out in March on HBO. But Governor Palin, you know Governor Palin, right? She's the combination of Bible Spice and Caribou Barbie, right? Well, they think she's. And this is not the left. This is Republican established. They think she's dumb as a box of rocks, right? They despise Governor Palin. And you know why? You've seen it this week. You've seen it in this. This is not about a beatdown. That's what we try to have. We've had Rick Tyler on here. We've had Robert Costas from National Review. We've had Scott Conroy from Real Clear Politics. Peter Schweitzer from the Hoover Institute. You know, we only get the smartest guys in the country, men and women of the country. We're not giving you chopped liver. I'm not going to waste your time by bringing in hacks that do talking points. We try to bring in smart people, right? Because your time's the most precious asset you've got. But this week has been extraordinary. I think something's happened this week. This week, from when we talked to you last week in South Carolina, last Sunday night, is that the big difference here has been that what happened on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday is that the Republican establishment, in panic that the Tea Party was finally galvanizing around a candidate and going to make this a two-man race, pulled out all stops. And what they did, they took from the book of Saul Alinsky. They took what the Democratic left and the progressive movement have been doing in this country for 20, 30, 40 years. That is to use the mainstream media and to take from Saul Alinsky, chapter 1, which is to isolate and destroy an individual. They've used this on Governor Palin before. And this week they use it on Newt Gingrich. And hey, I'm not defending Newt Gingrich. He provides a target-rich environment for attacks, okay? He's had a controversial personal life. And by the way, I'm not commenting his personal life. All of us got controversial personal lives. He's got a controversial, don't start calling in here and telling me about mine, okay? I don't want to have any of those ex-wives lighting up the boards. Maid Miriam, my screen caller, is not going to take those calls. But Newt Gingrich offered a rich opportunity to attack, but it was different than that. It was something more brutal and nasty. And Governor Palin called it out. You know, Governor Bannon, I keep telling people, for all of you that call her a bimbo, for all of you that say she breathes through her mouth, for all of you that basically say that she is blue-collar white trash from Wasilla, right, a state in Alaska that you completely dismiss, I continue to tell people, hey, just go to Facebook. She's got if you read all her Facebook postings over the last couple of years, she's got a more integrated political philosophy and a philosophy about the economy than anybody I've seen out there, than Tim Pawlenty or, Haley Barbour or any of these guys are going to be these great presidential candidates, right? She's the first one to call out QE2. She's the first one to call out Secretary Treasury Geithner on his process of trying to inflate our way out of the asset class. She called it out in a meeting in Hong Kong. Never got any credit for it. Her speeches about crony capitalism. Now the President of the United States is trying to co-opt it. Mitt Romney's trying to co-opt it. She was the first one to talk about the permanent political class, crony capitalism. She gave a speech in Iowa in a cornfield that will go down, I think, in American political history as a small defining moment where she called out the Republican establishment and she talked about crony capitalism. And she came out on Facebook on Friday with a piece, a very well thought through, Cannibals. This is the title. Cannibals in GOP establishment employ tactics of the left. Now you know why they love Sarah Palin, right? Cannibals in GOP establishment employ tactics of the left. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, go to her Facebook page, because this is an old-fashioned beatdown. Okay, she goes after all of them who tried to destroy Newt Gingrich, and she uses as her ally Rush Limbaugh, who helped call it out. Our guest this segment is someone you've become very familiar with, one of our regulars, Amy Kremer, chairman of Tea Party Express, who has been this weekend in Amy Kremer. You talk about a woman. Hey, how you doing? You talk about a woman of courage. This woman rode into the Alamo when the battle was going on. She rides. This is what I admire about Tea Party Express. This is what I love about the Tea Party. They ride to the sound of the guns. Okay, they don't run away from the guns. You want to take this country back. You want to save this country. You young people, do not occupy Wall Street. Instead of going down and sucking your thumb and wanting your nappy changed, okay, laying around in a pile of filth and occupy Wall Street, get up and get something done. Follow the Tea Party. They don't run away from things. They're not looking for people to do them favors. They go to where the action is. They go to where the heat is. This beatdown by the Republican establishment is on the working men and women of this country, as personified by the Tea Party. And Amy Kremer is one of the great Americans. This woman has got courage, a spine of steel. And you know why? Because when people are trying to destroy people, she's not running away and curling up in a ball and sucking her thumb. She's getting that buzz. They're wrapping that buzz, and they're going down into Florida, and they're throwing rallies. How you doing, Amy?
Hey, Steve. I'm great. How are you?
Doing great. Listen, this thing, Governor Palin came in on Friday. I know you've been down in Florida all weekend. This, I tell you what, I don't think anything sums it up better.
She calls it like she sees it, doesn't she?
And they say she's an idiot. They say she's a moron. They say she's the Thriller from Wasilla. But I got to tell you, this is a tightly argued. She's a tightly argued. Listen, Amy, look. I had you in Iowa 3 or 4 weeks ago, over January 3rd, almost a month ago, beating you up. There's no Tea Party around. You said, "Hey, wait to South Carolina." Man, in South Carolina, the Tea Party roared their head and bit off the establishment, and those guys went to general quarters. I had you on last Sunday. The difference in a week, it's been amazing. Just give us a sense of what is, you summed it up by saying, hey, Newt Gingrich's victory was basically the middle finger to the establishment. But tell us what is going on with the Tea Party?
Yeah, I mean, basically, we are sick and tired of accepting what Washington hands us. And that is, this movement got here. I mean, it rose up from the ground, grassroots, organic, because we're tired of what goes on inside the Beltway. And we started pushing back. And here we are, after the great victory in 2010, they claim credit for it, and they snub their nose at us. And here they want to control who the Republican nominee is going to be, and we're not having it. We are going to have our voices heard in this, and we did it in South Carolina, and I think we're seeing it here again in Florida.
What? Tell me, because all the crowds Newt Gingrich is in, and you're doing the Tea Party Express. What is the sense of what people are telling you? Because Politico had a great article on Thursday. I realize Politico's left of center, but they call it the Tea Party versus the Cocktail Party, and they said, Mitt Romney's the guys in the yellow and green slacks and the golf shirt, all the people there, and they're drinking martinis or Chablis, and they're talking very nicely about economics and all this. And the Tea Party, you got that rowdy bunch of Tea Party people. They got homemade signs, guys in tricolor hats, kids on their shoulders, yelling and screaming, jumping up and down like they always do. Is the energy out there in the Tea Party movement?
Oh, absolutely. And we have not come out and publicly endorsed anyone, and we haven't done it because we don't want to be working against the Tea Party movement, but we want to stand with our fellow Americans out there in this movement, because this is our country, and if we don't stand up now, we may never have the opportunity. But what is coming from the establishment is absolutely ridiculous, and it's unacceptable. And whoever the nominee is going to be, I will support them, and I will work to defeat Barack Obama. But I'm telling you right now, what has come after this out of the establishment this week, attacking Newt Gingrich, is simply unacceptable.
But when you say that, whoa, when you say that, how can you? I hear you. and you'll get in back of a candidate. But I think a line was crossed this week. This is not about Newt Gingrich. This is not about, he's a career politician. This is not about Newt Gingrich. I mean, the personal attacks are unbelievable. The vitriol, the meanness of spirit, the hatred. But this is about, the difference is the last Saturday, before 7 o'clock East Coast time in South Carolina, the Tea Party didn't matter again because they hadn't shown up. After that, the establishment went to general quarters, all hands on deck. This is about you. This is about Jenny Beth Martin. This is about all these people. This is about the Jason Hoyts, the Billy Tuckers. This is about every one of the rank and file of the Tea Party movement. These people despise you. Okay, I don't know, did you not get the memo? Did you not see what happened this week? I mean, how can you in good conscience, and I'm not a third party guy, but how can you kind of have a group hug after this thing's over?
Well, because I'm not saying we're going to have a group hug, not at all. As a matter of fact, what they better start doing is giving us a seat at the table. Look, we have.
They're not going to give you a seat. They give you a seat at the table. Give you a seat at the table. They're not going to let you. They don't want you in the same time zone.
I know. They probably have dartboards all over Washington, D.C. with our faces on them. But seriously, I mean, we have two very viable parties that we need to work from within and change. And this movement started because people were frustrated with both parties, but especially the Republican Party. And here they go trying to stick it to us again. And we are not going to sit back and take it. And their tactics of this past week are only pissing people off even more. We're sick of this crap. And we have a voice in this election. Every vote counts, and we're not going to take what they're handing us. The only
so what happened? What happens?
We're not going to do that.
I'm hearing some big talk from Amy Kremer, but Amy, what happens when Newt Gingrich loses on Tuesday? If he loses on Tuesday and the oxygen is cut off, has no money, and this thing, the coronation takes place. There's no Super Tuesday. There's no pan regional Southern primary. What does the Tea Party do?
Well, look, I don't think that, I mean, we are definitely not dead. Friday afternoon, we pulled up at a Walmart parking lot, and some lady stopped down in South Georgia, and she said, "Do you mean to tell me the Tea Party's not dead?" Because she saw the Tea Party bus. I mean, we're not dead, and we're proving it, and we are going to have our voices heard in this primary and in the Senate races and congressional races. I don't care what they say. I mean, when you have Rush Limbaugh out there and Mark Levin and Sarah Palin and all these people pushing back, they better get the message because we're not going away. And actually, their tactics are only emboldening us.
That's what we want. That's what we want to hear. I mean, you just talked about a lineup of good guys: Mark Levin, Rush Limbaugh, Governor Sarah Palin. They've got your back. I tell you, Amy.
Right, And, I mean, when Nancy Reagan said she was passing the torch from Ronnie to Newt, she would have never said that if Newt Gingrich had, the whole thing makes me sick. But you're right. It's not really that it's about Newt Gingrich. It's about the Tea Party movement. And they would be doing this to whoever the front runner is. Well,
that's what Governor Palin wrote this. I mean, it's pretty obvious. She knew that this was what was in store for her. She's seeing what they would have done to her. Okay.
Right.
This is the politics of personal destruction. Governor Reagan had the 11th commandment, thou shalt not speak badly of another Republican in a primary, right? You can have this kind of policy debate and everything like that, but you don't make it personal. They've so far gone over the line. This is an Alinsky tactic. This is the politics of personal destruction. This is to send, I keep telling, this is to send a message. They want Amy Kremer, they want you to shut up. They want Jenny Beth Martin to shut up. They want the Tea Party movement to shut up. All they want is your money. They want you to turn out the vote, and they want you to work precincts. Other than that, they could care less about what you're doing.
Right, and then they want to win these elections, and then they want to turn and, attend all the cocktail parties with the Democrats who are selling our souls to the devil with all this debt. We cannot sit back and take it. I mean, this is about the future of our country, and I say to the Republican Party, bring it on, because we are not going away.
Whoa, my guest, Amy Kremer, chairman of the Tea Party Express. She's ridden to the sound of the guns. They got the bus down there riding into the Alamo for Armageddon with the Republican establishment. It'll be this Tuesday. She says they're going on, and I love it. Bring it on. Amy Kremer, you are a hero. The people in Tea Party are heroes. Just keep it up. We're going to follow this all the way through. But I got to tell you, the stakes could not be higher. We haven't gotten to the Democrats. Heck, they're sitting back. They're sitting back going, wow. look at this, a group of wildcats going at each other. Okay, Amy, thank you so much.
Thanks
Good
for
luck
having
down.
me.
Good luck down in Florida. We're going to have you on next week. You're a hero, and keep rolling.
Well, thanks. It takes all of us. I'll see you soon.
This is Stephen K. Bannon, the Victory Session. We're going to come back with Peter Boyer, senior political national correspondent for Newsweek magazine, about the cover story in Newsweek that's coming out tomorrow morning. Back after we pay some bills in the Victory Sessions.